Hey everybody, I know it's been about 2 years since I said I would upload more videos for the custom viewport with C++, and I didn't. Work got in the way, and I'm just now getting back around to this and wanted to address some of the comments left on the original video. Apparently there are issues with dual directional lights and the Skylight not working, and after banging my head on the wall for a while, I have solved those, and I want to show you guys how to fix them, and also how to add some fancy rendering features to the viewport. So before we get into the graph, let's look at the changes. So if I pop open the viewport, you can see we have the Skylight working, some extremely aggressive eye adaptation. We also have Lumen enabled in this viewport, which is super cool. We can see that down here. You can see the gather being all flickery. You can set that however you want later, but yeah, let's get into it. So popping into the graph, the only function we're going to be looking at is create viewport. I will not be going over everything I did in the last video, so if you're new, go watch that one first, come back here, and then make the changes I'm about to show. So the first chain from the sequence node is adding the viewport widget to the panel slot. I haven't made any changes there, so I can say the same. And now we can talk about the directional and skylight issues that everybody was having. So when I first made the video, I did not notice that there were two directional lights, mainly because I made the video when Unreal Engine 5.0 was first coming out, and there was no warning message like there is if you try to do this in newer engine versions. So the way to fix that is by using these two functions here. They come from the viewport reference. So what the issue is that the viewport class that we're using has built-in directional and skylight components. I dug into the C++ and looked at these. Sadly, they are not actors built into the viewport world. If there were, you could easily get references to them in blueprints, turn them off, delete them, whatever. But the viewport class is extremely dense, and without C++, it would be very hard to get at those components. So we have to settle with turning these to 0, but it doesn't matter with the Skylight because the built-in Skylight component actually doesn't do anything. So this is just here for just in case. But set light intensity controls the directional light. This has to be set to 0. Otherwise, if we compile this and then run it, you will have multiple directional light warnings and everything will be wonky. So turn it off. Next, we are going to spawn a sky atmosphere, directional and skylight, and then set the advanced render settings like lumen and the other things that I showed. So spawning the sky atmosphere, super simple. Use the spawn function from the viewport and set it to sky atmosphere. Next, I have a custom function for spawning the directional light, and I've just realized I spelled that wrong. So yeah, let's take a look at it. So again, spawn in a directional light, cast to it, set the reference. You should ideally be like caching references whenever you can. Set the mobility because we're going to rotate it. This is important if you're going to use sky atmosphere. You need to get the directional light component from the actor. That way you can make sure that it is usable as a sunlight. So make sure to do that. And then we have set intensity, world rotation. This can be whatever. I just like that value. And then light color. And of course you can always wire these up to your input. You see add pin to node. I just haven't done it here. And then we have the skylight. This one took a little bit to figure out. So the issue with skylight not appearing for everybody is that the built-in skylight component does not have real-time capture enabled, apparently. And if you go to spawn one in with this spawn function, like we did with the directional light, that will also not have real-time capture enabled, so you won't see anything. So to get around this without using C++, otherwise it is extremely easy to expose that as your own node, is you right click, create blueprint class, parent type actor. I've done that here. And then add a skylight in the component section, and then set real-time capture to enabled. That is what we will spawn with the spawn function. Then we can cast to it, then we can get the skylight component and then set the color and set the intensity. This one I have wired the color and intensity over, and that's how that will work. We can set this to a really obnoxious green and take a look at it. Yeah, see, it's awful, but it does work. So yeah, let's get rid of that. So yeah, that is the lighting issues solved. So now we can take a look at some fun stuff, which is the set render settings function that I made. Okay, so inside we have set enable advanced features. So this thing is a black box when first looking at it, without digging into C++ because it has no description whatsoever. But I went in and looked at it, and basically this sets a bunch of show flags for the engine. And if you're not aware, they're all these commands. Set enable advanced features doesn't set every single one of these. It's just certain ones, such as temporal AA. There's a couple others. I think distance field AO is one. Post process and stuff like that. But more specifically, it disables lumen, which is what we manually set right here. So these are the two flags that you'll need to set as lumen global illumination and then lumen reflections, and set both of these to true. And that will enable lumen inside your custom viewport. Now, if you want to sort of take control back from this thing, you can pop this open in Visual Studio Writer, take a look at what it's setting, delete this, and then chain a bunch of these set show flag functions up, and then just set the flag name yourself if you want to do that. So let's go back. And finally, we are spawning a sky sphere. This is also important because we need our sky sphere material to have a certain usage flag for skylight capture. So we spawn the static mesh actor, set the scale relatively high for skybox. I set the mobility to movable, and we set the static mesh, which is SM_skysphere. This is an engine sky, an engine content. And then the material that will go with it is right here. It's a simple sky dome. If you want to replace this with whatever sky sphere material you, like if you made one yourself, just make sure that this usage flag is enabled. And then that will work with the skylight capture. And then the rest is similar to what I had before, to where I'm just spawning like a preview mesh, then I rotate the viewport camera to look at it, and then I'm spawning a floor. And that's where we're at right now. I'm not necessarily sure if I will make a third follow-up to this. I don't think there's much I can do to extend this without introducing C++ to you guys, and that gets really in the weeds when it comes to viewport and asset editors and things like that. But let me know if you do eventually want to see content like that. But for now, I think this might be the end of the no C++ viewport. But I just wanted to share these fixes with you guys. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was easy to follow along, and have a good one.